What on earth? Hold on. I think somebody is calling me. Yes, they are. On a different somebody just tried to call me on Facebook as I started the show. That's just rude, man. Like, how do you not know it's 8 o'clock and the show's on? Oh, is your show on yet? No, it's not. That totally threw me off. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Space Fam. This week we have an incredible lineup of awesome people. No, Mary Liz, we don't want to see anything about Super Heavy Booster or SN10 at all. Why would we want to do that? That's a private message I have. We have somebody that's so cool. They live in Boca Chica now, and they're just filming stuff all the time. We're going to have an incredible night tonight. We have so much to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and let everybody introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive into our conversation this evening. So, Gennaro, let's go with you first. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, how you're involved in the space industry, all the awesome things.
Cool. Thank you, Ron. And oh my God, I'm looking at myself. It's super big. That's super strange. But anyway, my name is Genaro. I go as G. I've been doing SATCOM, satellite communications, for the past 8.5 years now. It's been a wild ride. I focus mostly on geostationary satellites, so it's fun. It's a great topic nowadays to talk about SATCOM. Now that everyone's talking about constellation, so maybe we can get a little bit into talking about Starlink and OneWeb and many other constellations that worked in the past. But yeah, I spend a good punch of my working time designing networks for video, so direct to home. So maybe some of you have been doing something I've designed in the past. And data networks and whatnot. And so for fun, I have a band that's called After Office, and we play After Office. So great name. And right. And a couple of years ago, I did an analog astronaut mission. It was the first all Mexican astronaut mission. And what else? I'm based off Mexico City, by the way. And yesterday we had an earthquake. So if you see me running like crazy, it's probably because it's shaking again. So I'll let you know that I'm just running for my life. But this is a little bit about me. So Ron, back to you.
Thank you, G. We appreciate you sharing. No, awesome stuff. We're definitely going to talk about all the things you've done. We have a few people on here, or a couple people on here tonight that have done analog astronaut missions. Somebody I think might be wanting to do an analog mission. Who knows? Mac wants to do an analog mission, don't you, Mac? He's like, yeah. So next, we're going to go to Mary Liz Bender, one half the Cosmic Perspective team. Doing amazing things. Musician will also be our musical guest this evening, and the reason why I put it in quotes is only because it will not be live. We won't have somebody live performing. We will be sharing her music in the way that we've done with Will Young and others in the past, where we play their pre-recorded stuff. So, Mary Liz, give everybody the breakdown on all the cool stuff that you do, from music to the stuff that you and Ryan work on, the whole shebang.
Yeah, awesome. So I've been, for the last 3 years, documenting all of the rocket launches in the US up close. So Ryan and I co-founded Cosmic Perspective a few years ago, and we have been chasing the rockets ever since. So we go to Vandenberg, we go to Wallops, we go to Cape Canaveral, and now we have moved to permanently live in Starbase, Texas, Boca Chica, nearby Boca Chica, Texas. The new home just got in this last weekend. It's about 7 miles from Starship, from the launch pad. So we're really passionate about sharing this incredible new space era through story and film. And if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cosmic Perspective, you'll see all sorts of things that we've been preparing there. We got a new awesome rocket theater series that we're about to really kick off. In addition to that, I am also a musician. I've been a musician my entire life. I was, before I got into the space industry, a touring musician and recording artist full time, and continuing that. But now I'm starting to integrate. I'm starting to integrate that into my work in space. Finally, so I'm marrying my two loves. Imran just made a comment. I saw that he doesn't see my magic gloves, but you will. I have got these incredible gloves that are the perfect instrument for space travel. And those will be featured in the video that will show upcoming. But yeah, just applied for Dear Moon, so let's hope for that.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's 1 in a million, but one of us is going. So my hope is to finally do a performance with the gloves in zero G myself, but I am working to send them with astronauts to the space station. So either way, they're getting to space. And then the last thing I'll say is that I just got back from an analog astronaut mission at High Seas, which is the same one that I believe Shayna is hoping to go to, fundraising for. So I did a Mars simulation that was life-changing, and I got to use my music gloves to really think about how we will use art and our own methods to express ourselves, connect with each other, our crew, and then people back on Earth while we're in a faraway settlement on Mars. And that's me.
That's absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. And there is a quick clarification. It looks like Sheena is going to actually do MDRS. She won't be doing High Seas, which...
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
And there's amazing programs with all over the world, really. Like DMARS, it's in Israel. If you've ever watched the show before, Abramovich has been on and talked about all the amazing stuff that they do there. So they're all over I think there's even one in Antarctica. So actually, I think there's 2 in Antarctica that are relatively close to each other. Actually, I think one of them's in Mars Society one too. I don't remember exactly. We'll have to have somebody from Mars Society on, or I'll have to do a new Mars Society podcast. Whatever, we'll do it. Red Planet Radio, baby. Amazing stuff. We're going to talk about some of those things in depth more for sure. Next up, we're going to go to Mac Attack. Mac Murdoch. Dude, light photography. Last year, your life changed a little bit, and you started doing stuff with OPT telescopes. Obviously, if you're watching this on the Clear Skies Network channel, you know what OPT is. But if you're not, you're watching this on one of the other platforms. Mac, give them a breakdown of that as well, and also the awesome stuff you do. And I can't wait to ask you how the hell you do it. So, Mac, we'll hit you next.
Sure. So my name is Mac, and I'm an astrophotographer in Hollywood, California. And I've been doing it for astrophotography for about 3 years now, but I've been doing photography for about 4.5-ish years. I started working for OPT, which is the biggest telescope store in the world. I'm stuttering. And
do it professionally. You're fine.
Yeah, right. And it's been amazing so far. I run the social media programs over there, and then the affiliate program, which just enables me to talk to some of the best astrophotographers around the world and just collaborate. And it's been such a joy to be able to do that. Last year I came out with a book called Secrets from the Stars that was put together by Rogelio. If anyone knows about, astrophotographers out there, they know Rogelio. He's definitely the godfather of modern astrophotography. And so, yeah, that's kind of been it. Just every night, kind of set up the telescope, start looking at deep space objects, and shoot them. Process. Lately, my big thing is hunting the International Space Station. I've been getting
all those pictures are amazing.
So I've been getting images of the space station crossing the sun or the moon, and those have been my big passions lately, of trying to catch those.
Fantastic. I mean, doing incredible work, and we really we're going to show some of that a little bit later on, just like Mary Liz's stuff and Cosmic Perspective stuff. Two ends of the same space spectrum. Like, here's rocket launches and what you can do if you love this. No degree required, I'm guessing, Mary Liz. No degree required, Mac Murdoch. You just loved it and went after it, very similar to what I did. Does anybody here have a degree yet? Okay, let me back this up. Do you have a degree in the thing that you're doing for a living? G? Shayna, you do?
Well, I wanted to do rocket ships, and I ended up doing telecoms. So
close-ish.
It seems it operates in space, I guess.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Shayna, where are you at now?
Yeah, so I do have degrees relevant to what I'm doing. But I like to say barely because I decided like a week before I went to college that this is what I wanted to do. So I got my BS in aerospace engineering from the University of Miami, and a couple months ago, I just earned my master's of aerospace engineering from CU Boulder. And right now, I am a PhD candidate, so my day job is working on Martian EDL, or entry, descent, and landing. And by night, I am working on being an analog astronaut, a space advocate, an astropreneur. I am just keeping my hands busy as I explore all of what makes the future of space exploration possible.
That was so professional. I love the way you did it. Like you were on stage. You're like, and I just want to make sure that you honestly, I want to tell you, it felt like you were in like a competition. I won't say like necessarily like a beauty pageant, but it's like, but I'm going to change the friggin' world. Hi, everybody. It was just the tone was fantastic. I love that.
Thank you, Ron.
It was great. And so everyone can see if you're joining the show tonight, we have an incredible lineup and there's so much to talk about. So analog missions. Let's talk about that. I think it's one of the things that I put like in the tagline for this one. A few folks here have had some really incredible experiences. So what I'll do is, Mary Liz, I'm going to start with you. G, I'll go to you, and then Shayna about the things that you're looking forward to with what you have with coming up the new one. Mary Liz, you had a great group. You got to go with one of your good friends. Not a lot of people get to do that, which is really cool. Most people show up and, oh, hey, it's a great group, but you might not know the people that are there. So you got to share that experience with someone. I know that had to be cool. But you all had some interesting things happen while you're there. So tell us a little bit about the experience and what went down.
Yeah, so my friend was Hillary Ko. It was so awesome. I realized, like on my way to Hawaii, that I had never met her in person. We became friends during the pandemic online through Zoom. And so it was really awesome to get there and get into the shuttle, which is essentially the van that takes you up the mountain, and go to the habitat. What surprised me was the shock of what it's like to be with people and without a mask on, and being able to like hug people and have a meal normally with people. And so it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed getting to know the other people as well. There were a couple engineers, and Hillary and I were the artists / communicators of the group. And then we got to do some astrobiology research in the nearby lava tubes, which apparently are very similar to the lava tubes that we're speculating that we'll find on Mars.
Real quick, hold on. I got to ask a quick question. Where are you from?
Where am I from?
Yes, where are you from?
I'm from Missouri, a little farm town south of St. Louis.
I have never heard anybody say lava tubes before. It's always been lava tubes. And I was like, that's an accent I don't know.
I've never heard tubes?
You said it twice.
Really?
Yes. So I've just never heard that. I'm like, it's like when people from New York, Neil deGrasse Tyson, whenever he's on Cosmos, he's like, and whenever he found water, I'm like, did he just say water? Like, is he talking about water? I just love particular accents and finding those little things like, oh,
water.
Yeah,
he does.
He says water. He's like, whenever they found water, I'm like, water, Neil.
Good one.
But no, I love those. Yeah, I have plenty of them. I say dutn't. Anyway, Mary Liz, go ahead.
Lava tubes. Yeah, I do. I say dollar weird. People always say that I have a northern accent, so I don't know where that comes from. I also speak Spanish. Sometimes I get all funky with my words. Anyway, it was an epic experience, and just to give Shayna a little bit of advice, although I don't know much about MDRS, on the mountain on top of Mauna Loa, the volcano actually, where the habitat is located, it was very cold. It's at 8,500 feet elevation about. And so to prepare for all kinds of weather, to prepare for major power outages, which we experienced for days on end, to prepare for the lack of opportunity to go outside, because it's quite possible that your solar panels, will be shrouded in clouds, and so you won't get enough power to power anything like your computers, your music loves, for days on end. And so you won't be able to go outside because your suits also may not be charged, or you may not be able to go outside in certain kinds of weather because your suits are sensitive with all the technology they have on them. So we were stuck inside for several days straight. It took a while to get onto our first EVA, but once we did, it was so magical, awesome, and so worth the experience. I did go with a bunch of ideas of like grandiose projects I wanted to do, and then realized it's not really about that. It's not so much about, trying to make a music album or, finish writing the book. It's really about being present to the experience and connecting with your crew. That's all that really matters. So if I could just give that advice to anybody that plans to go on an analog mission, just be there and soak it up.
Love it. So let's go to you next, Jaro. You've had an experience where it was the entire Mexican team or Spanish team?
No,
or
no,
Latin?
no.
Okay,
Mexico. So okay. So
give us a breakdown, man.
sure. Well, there has been a couple of LATAM only missions, right? So I think that they're going to do LATAM 3 at some point in time. But we were the very first one with only Mexicans on board, and we call it Mex 1, by the way, which
Yes.
which was Exploration Mission 1 in Spanish. So it kind of sounded nice. And I did it on MDRS. So Shayna, if you need any experiences and how to deal with everything that you will find there, it's a great experience. And so it is funny because we actually went to MDRS the last 2 weeks of December. So and it it snowed big time, right? So I hope you're not doing it during December because if it snows big time, you're not going to do any EVAs at all. And so we had some very good weather. It was minus, I don't know, I'm just gonna say in Celsius probably like minus 10, something like that, like 20 30 Fahrenheit. So it was an overall fun experience. These were five of my friends, so it made it for a really interesting experience because it's not someone we just met. We actually worked for about a year beforehand, and we trained. We had psychologists. We had real clear roles on what everyone was doing. So it was a really interesting experience, and we absolutely want to do a second version of it with a completely different Mexican crew. Doing some fundraising, it's hard, and it's not cheap to do it, but it is fun for sure. And so one of the most interesting goals we had during our mission was actually the psychology behind it, because you guys, it's super different to have an all-American crew than an all-Mexican crew than an all-LATAM crew, and that's what our psychologists wanted to check, because you don't get crazy the same way in American that you get crazy in Mexican, because in Mexican you would say loco. So sorry, it's the worst pun ever. But
it's funny, but we're all muted, so there is laughter going on. I can see the other people, and everybody was laughing at that. But remember, I was like, "Oh, mute yourself if you're not talking." So people will say jokes and feel bad, like, "Well, nobody got that." We all got it. Everybody laughed.
Well, yeah. So it is pretty interesting. When we're thinking of going to long-lasting missions to outer space, we believe that everyone is gonna react the same, and it's not true. It is not true. So that's what our psychology team was working with, to understand how crazy a Mexican would get. If you want your tortillas, if you want your tacos, maybe they're just not going to be that good if you're having a crazy guy out there. So it's fun. It was fun. So Shayna, if you're going to MDRS, send my regards to Dr. Rupert. She's great, and you're gonna love the dogs. One good thing to consider is that if you see dog paws and you are not a good biologist by any means, don't think it's a animal trying to prey on you. It's the dogs. And it's a horrible story, but we could probably get into it later. So it's the crazy stuff that you get when you're, in isolation. You think someone is, some animal is preying on you. It's not. It's the dogs.
Fair enough. It's just the dogs. So we just want to point out the hair change right now. Look at how glamorous Mac looks with his hair pulled up. Like, that's right, top knot, top knot. We're not going to actually chant top knot, but so Shane, I want to go to you next on this one because obviously you're on your way. And Janara, you talked about Dr. Rupert. Shannon, eventually we will do a Red Planet Radio on Mars Society. We're going to do an episode with her. We've tried for like 2 years now, and there's just so much going on always. We still haven't gotten to it. So eventually we will, and we will discuss some stuff with her. So look out for that. Check out the Mars Society pages. But Shayna, talk a little bit about what's going on, and also share with us that you might have something where people can be involved and share their love for what you're doing.
All right, I would love to. Well, first of all, I do have to give some credit. The Matthew Isakowitz program is what kicked this all off. 4 out of 6 members on the team come from this fellowship, and we were talking about it as soon as the inaugural fellowship summit was over in 2018. We ended up applying as a team in 2019, and we were just waiting to see if this would still happen during everything with COVID. So that group, which is all about promoting young leadership in commercial space, is what kicked this off. But when Mary Liz and UG were talking about it, it just reminded me of some of the really similar work we're going to be doing, because even though a lot of us know each other through this common thread, we're all bringing very different expertise. In grad school, I do work on Mars trajectories and landings, but I have a huge interest in ethical space. So my main project is working on a planetary protection protocol study.
Wait. We got to back this up real quick. For people that don't know, what is ethical space?
Ethical space is about not being the bad guy in space. I don't have a good definition, but it's about approaching this the right way, setting a good foundation for the future. It's about sustainability. It's about leaving your camp better than you found it.
I love that term. So basically, Jeff Bezos, we know you all bought The Expanse. We're not planning on that being the actual future, okay? We want people to be cool. Just kidding, Jeff. I make that joke a lot, and eventually I'm going to find out he's mad at me. So, Mac, I just let everybody know that we are live on Twitter and they can retweet. And Mac's like, perfect. My whole 2 bot followers will love this. But Shayna, go ahead and continue your thought from there.
Love that so much. But yeah, when you guys were talking about it, I'm working on this planetary protection study where we're going to look at different operating protocols. Our human factors officer is looking at a new right stuff versus old right stuff psychological evaluation ahead of the mission to just take some observational studies of how different traits behave. I know, Mary Liz, you might like that especially because we're pulling heavily on Loretta's space kind class.
And so for folks that don't know, Mary Liz, if you would like to explain it, more of our group here than not have been on Spacekind. Shayna and I were part of the first one. Mary Liz, I think you were part of the second group, correct?
Number 2.
Number 2. So if you want to talk a little bit about your experience, Spacekind, with the amazing Loretta Whitesides, if you know about Yuri's Night, Virgin Galactic, she's her and her husband, who just stepped down from being he was the CEO for a while, and then I think he was like the head of space, which is just a cool title, something like that.
Chief of space, I think. Yeah.
It was a really cool title, right? Mm-hmm. And so she does a lot of amazing things. They are going to have their honeymoon on Virgin Galactic. Like, they do a lot of incredible things. We love Loretta. She was on the show about 2 months ago. But you want to share your experience with Spacekind, what the program is, and what it was like for you?
Yeah. So I think it's LorettaWhitesides.com or SpacekindTraining.com, I think it is. It's a wonderful program. Loretta is a really passionate person about using space to bring the best out of you, to bringing the best out in you, something like that. But it was actually where I met Hillary Co. I just realized. Hillary and I were in the same class. Lauren Lyons was there. Just a bunch of amazing people. And so it's not just a place to go for self-improvement, but and not just a place to network, but it's really a place to build a community. And for me, that was essential during this time of quarantining. So I really found a lot of value in all of it. But what's so cool about it is that Loretta has written this gorgeous book called The New Right Stuff, which is how this all came up, because that's what Shayna just mentioned. And
short read, awesome read. Go buy it now.
yeah, it's a great read. And it even includes little, like at the end of chapters, it will engage you in these little exercises that you can do, journaling exercises. And in her class, it's a really high touch experience where she leads you through each chapter of the book. And then you get paired up with an accountability partner. And then she kind of switches it up each week. So you always get to interface with someone new. And for me, that was just essential. I met some of my best friends in the class. And yeah, I got a lot of really good stuff out of it. I came out stronger and better. So I always promote anything Loretta's doing. And then of course, Yuri's Night. I'm on the team. I'm on the team there, but Loretta and her husband co-founded Yuri's Night in 2001. It is happening on April 10th this year. And, you know, it's just like, it's music, it's space celebrities, it's like, you know, a whole community of space friends coming together and celebrating the day that the first human flew to space. So Yuri Gagarin flew to space 1961. So I believe this is the 60th anniversary. It's like a really cool way to just celebrate what's going on. It's a global live stream right now. And then, you know, they've got some cool VIP backstage parties going on as well if you want to support the endeavor and also hang out with some cool folks backstage. Anything Loretta's doing.
Anything Loretta's doing. I am totally with that on. Swallowed wrong. Always a good thing to do right when you're getting ready to start speaking. What had happened was, honestly, everything that Loretta does is great. I always love supporting. We were all on a phone call the other day. The Yuri's Night Dream Team, all the cool stuff that's coming up. We're going to probably, over the next few weeks of Space Fam, we're going to have some more people on that are also involved in it because we just want to help amp this up. There was something like 30,000+ people that watched last year. We want hundreds of thousands of people this year because last year was amazing. It was Bill Nye. There was some amazing folks from Star Trek, the Star Trek universe. Duran Duran was at the end of it. This year, the after party is going to have the amazing EDM artist Nervo. There's just so many cool things that are happening. Shane, I know that you're involved in it too, but I think that you won't even be there for it. You'll actually be. Wait, hold on. Will you be there for Yuri's Night and then you leave the next morning?
No, Yuri's Night is our first night on Mars while we're at MDRS. So we are figuring out currently whether we're going to be able to stream anything, and if not, how we should do our own little celebration.
I love that. You definitely have to film that and put that out to people. When you let me know, well, I will definitely share that with folks. So Yuri's Night's amazing. Mac, I know you live somewhat in the area. Have you ever had the chance to go to a live Yuri's Night yet? Because it seems like it's totally up your alley.
It was 2 years ago. I wanted to go. I think Bill Nye was there as well as someone else. I can't remember. But
Story Musgrave and Mary Liz and I were there.
Yeah, and I wanted to go so badly, and I couldn't make it. I don't remember what came up, but something came up.
Eventually, I mean, we're going to get you there because, I mean, more and more people, the Space Fam has become so much more connected over the last few years. Everybody was already connected pretty heavily, but especially with last year, people that weren't live streaming, that weren't connecting in that way, have all kind of, at least done some of it, created more of this content that now we're all just so much more connected. I think the next one is going to be crazy in person. 2022 is what I'm guessing will be the next probably in person one. And I think there's going to be hundreds more people than there was the last time. Or even I think they're going to top their highest number by a couple hundred. It's an amazing thing. Absolutely incredible. Gennaro, have you ever been to one before? Do you have one in Mexico City? Because they're done all over the world. So you probably, let me take that back. Of course you've been to one because you come to Space Symposium and I think that you came to, that might have been where we met 4 years ago.
You know what? We met 6 times.
We did. Well, there's,
I will not get into details, but yeah, yeah. I was there for Yuri's night, and it was fantastic. I think I have my a small little glass from Yuri's night from back in the day there. But we do have a couple of events for Yuri's night in Mexico City. And so they're fun. Of course, 2 years ago, I think it was the last one, we did something all together somewhere, which usually it's some observation and some people talking and whatnot. But yeah, no, we do that in here. It's fun. Community is big. It's getting bigger every year, which is nice. We get more and more people of all sorts of backgrounds here doing it, whether it's astronomers, physicists, engineers. It's just fun. It's just good fun.
I can't agree more. It's really one of the coolest things that happens out there. And so we're talking about analog astronaut missions. And of course, we get into Yuri's night, because how can you not talk about Yuri's night? There's just so many cool things that all the people here are involved in different ways. One of the cool things I want to talk about is, if you can see behind me right there, right now I have this amazing piece of art right underneath it that is hanging on my telescope that I got from OPT, which was my birthday present last year. If you've been watching this show for a while, Dustin from OPT, the CEO, comes on the show a lot of time. And we all, a few of us have a pretty direct connection to him. One of those people is Mac, because he literally works for him now. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about the job that you get to do, because it's the video production you do. You all do it at a high level. And I don't want to say his name wrong, but who's the person that you film a lot with?
Rafal.
You say, okay, I thought it was, at first I thought it was Raphael in like a different spelling. And I'm like, no, there's not enough letters there. So I'm so glad you told me, because I've not gotten a chance to meet him yet. I love his work.
Yeah.
His stuff is gorgeous. Yeah.
He gets called Raffle all the time.
Raffle, yeah, like raffle. Like that was an assumption too when I saw it one time. I was like, all right, is it like raffle, like the raffle? But yeah, you get to do some amazing stuff. So I want to hear about all the cool stuff that you all have kind of brought to the table having this new team, because it's you, it's him, and it's also Jeffrey Horn. So I know those three, at least three of you that I know that have kind of joined the team recently.
Yeah. So I'll take it back a little bit further. Is last year, early last year, I was working for a different company. It's like kind of OPT's competitor company for a little while, and I just wasn't a right fit. And OPT gave me the opportunity to really, they gave me the opportunity to shine and make the changes that I wanted to make, and connect all, the astrophotography and just astronomy community together. And so I ended up signing on with them, and it gave me some power to help lift up everybody in the community and make a difference. So ever since, first I started just doing social media, and so I manage all the social media accounts for both OPT, Radian Telescopes, and the Space Junk podcast, which is another podcast that we do. I've
never heard of Space Junk podcast. Has anybody on this show ever been on it before, Mac?
Yeah, Mr. Ron Sparkman. Ron Comet. Yeah, and so yeah, I manage all those pages, as well as now we're doing, for the last 8 months or so, been doing like YouTube videos and tutorials and reviews on different astronomy products. And the way that I kind of like to put them is, I like to make things super easy to understand. There's so much great content out there, like Trevor Jones and Astrobiscuit and Galactic Hunter and Chuck's Astrophotography. They all have great stuff that's also very easy to understand, but I try and just take it a little bit easier and just super simplify things so that anybody can really understand it and figure it out. And we try and add our little layer of high production value as well. Rafal is definitely the mastermind there. He knows all the lighting and the shots and the cinematography, and he's the one that really makes it look good. Rafal is one of those that I don't actually have to be worried about being on screen anymore because I always have him to make me look good when I screw up all the time. So
Oh, you do not. So I love that Mac talks about this. Mac's just a natural on live streams. He and I met last year. Funny enough, we're friends now because before he worked there, before I was really doing anything, I wasn't doing a live stream, anything like that on OPT. Dustin was doing live streams on his personal Instagram page, and he brought a whole community of people together. From that community, nearly everybody that now streams on this channel came from watching the live streams with Dustin. And he just, if you've never watched Dustin, I've always said that he is the most natural salesman I've ever seen in my entire life. But the thing is that he's being honest and sincere. And so you don't even notice that in a way he's selling you a thing, but not really, because he's just telling you what the things are, because there's so much going on. And it's not like he needs to sell anybody anymore, because you guys have so many orders right now that you're 3 to 6 months backed up on some stuff. That's how crazy astronomy has gotten. Yeah, for real. In December, something cool happened. I am still waiting on the telescope to get here from that, because it's been that long. Poor Jeff and Mac, I'm like, once a month, I'm like, hey guys, do you have any idea when the telescope might be showing up? It has nothing to do with them. It's from a company that they're waiting to get this telescope. And I'm just so stoked I can't wait for it. But it's been crazy for you all.
Part of it actually goes deeper than that. It's, like let's say you order something from a company. The company needs all the materials and stuff to make that, so that them getting materials to make a telescope, that takes so long to get because of COVID restrictions and the limited amount of staff that they have to have, as well as some businesses have gone under as far as like materials and that kind of stuff. And so they're all trying to figure things out and then get materials in to build the certain things and then ship them over to us so that we can ship them out to you guys. And the thing is when COVID hit, the astronomy business just skyrocketed because everyone's at home and everyone starts seeing cool things. They want to be
the ultimate social distancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so so demand for things went up, but the materials to create the supply for them went down. And so therefore it's like wait times are just they're ridiculous at the moment. But like what you did and whatnot, it's a matter of just put in an order, and as soon as we get it, it gets shipped out. Literally the same day. As soon as we get it, it's out to you.
And that's the thing too. So we've had other folks that have been on here before that work for other platforms, like Explore Scientific. We had somebody on just a few weeks ago. Listen, Tyler, this is what he was saying. He's like, listen, man, there's not a thing we can do if we don't have the things. We can order the things. We don't make the things right here. They're made and they come to us and then we sell you the things. You can only do so much, and there's just so much going on around the world right now. And I love it. We had, how many of us can say that we have this industry that we worked in was the cool things that were happening last year in 2020? Not many people could say it. There was NeoWise, which gave the people a little thing to be happy about. There was, obviously we had the first launch of U.S. astronauts from U.S. soil and U.S. technology. There was just so much that happened last year that in the middle of absolute madness, there's something that you can celebrate with just for a minute as us being humans. And then we can go back to rioting in the streets, because we should, and we should be fighting for those people and those causes. But let's take an hour and just be like, in the middle of this, look what happened. This same thing happened with Apollo. Like Apollo 11 went up where a lot of crazy stuff was going on. And it's a really beautiful thing to see astronomy take off. I love hearing those stories. I want to take my telescope out as soon as possible. I don't know that I want to take the 100-pound mount downstairs for my 2-pound telescope. It's really hard for me to do that because I know nothing about astrophotography yet. So I kind of want to take them both out at the same time once I finally start doing it. But that's the coolest telescope in the world, by the way, behind me.
Is that the Radiant Raptor?
That's the Raptor. Yeah, that's the one I got for my birthday. And nice. It's like this big, and it's just amazing. And you're like, what is this little thing going to do? And then you see the pictures that Backyard. I wanted to make sure, and I almost said that. I'm like, wait a minute, make sure I got it right. That Astro Backyard is done, and you see the photos. You're like, how in the hell? Oh, and he also helped design it. It's mostly his design. It's incredible. And just the stuff that this company is doing is fantastic. Actually, you know what? I want to play a quick video, and this is the group of telescopes that are out in the middle of the desert that anybody can use whenever they decide to live stream with them. Dustin does it quite often. It's just the coolest thing in the world. And Mary Liz, I know you got some stuff that you do with OPT as well, that you and Ryan do, and I definitely want to talk about that in a minute. But I love this video, and it's so quintessential Dustin. It always makes me happy. But this is him showing one of the huge scopes. Is it in the California desert, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it's out at Landers. It's right next to like Joshua Tree.
Perfect. So here's this video. We've shown it before, but it's so well done. It was one of the first like pieces of content that I saw come out from like the new team kind of coming together, and I love it. I love the music.
Hey, what's up guys? We're in Landers, California in my observatory. Give you guys a quick gear rundown and show you what I'm using. This is a software bisque ME2 mount with over a 200-pound capacity, which is necessary with a scope like this.
I have no idea what he's saying. It's all French to me.
On the other side to balance this thing. But this is my long focal length scope. This is what I use to shoot most of the galaxy images that I post. This is a 17-inch plane wave CDK with a quartz mirror, about 3,000 millimeters of focal length, so really reaches out there. And you compare that to what you see on the side of like a football field with a 70 to 200 big photographer lenses. This is 3,000 millimeters, so it really reaches out there. On the back side, you can see the camera here. This is an SBIG 16803. It's a really big sensor, but more importantly, has really big pixels, which you have to have on a focal length this long to really get the images that we're looking without making the stars super bloated. So that's what this one does. And then on the underside, I've got an off-axis guider here, and this is a guide camera. So once the imaging starts, this camera takes control of the mount, and if anything happens, the wind blows or something bumps it, that will take control of the system and move it back so that everything is always sharp and you don't see star trails in the image. This is the PlaneWave IRF 90 focuser. So it not only focuses the camera, but also rotates the camera to make sure that whatever the framing is you have for the artistic aspect of the image, you can get that in there and actually frame the image the way you want it. This pier here is a 4-foot pier, and it's on a ton of concrete, as you can see, and the concrete is actually isolated from the rest of the building, so it's separate, so nothing is actually touching that. That way, moving around in the observatory doesn't move the telescope, doesn't shake anything. Once the skies get dark, I pop open the roof. Telescope stands up, and you can see this thing is pretty substantial. But then from there, can take control over it. Yeah, guys, so we run this thing every night that's clear, so you can come check it out, twitch.tv/GibsonPics, and see this thing in action, images rolling in live, and really just explore the universe with us. Come check it out.
Right? So awesome. It was the coolest thing ever, right? So what's amazing about this is, okay, so let's just back up real quick. /GibsonPics does no longer exist, at least for that. That's what became Clear Skies Network. It was a thought at the time, and then all of us, there's a bunch of people doing stuff now. So there's not live streaming every night from the telescopes anymore. It's only when Dustin really has time to kind of do that and open it up. But there are a variety of people that are on this channel. So if you're seeing it for the first time, make sure that you're subscribing, support the channel, and check out all the cool things that are going on. If you're watching this on a different platform, then make sure you go to twitch.tv/Clear Skies Network. Go there, check it out, join the conversation that's going on there. People are always in there having a good time. And there's so much to be learned there. A lot of it is very educational. Mac, you need to start doing a stream where you do like the breakdown from the ground up. We've been doing, like, Bill Nash and I will be doing a little bit of that where he'll be teaching me things, but we need the official man with a plan. Not like you don't have anything else to do. I talked to you the other day. It's like, oh, I had a 12-hour day today doing video production. How you doing, man? Sorry it took me so long. I guess you were busy.
Yeah, I haven't been the most responsive, but we actually are going to get back into the whole live streaming, star party thing again. we're just updating the system at the moment, making things like super reliable, super good, and as well as we've just had bad weather, bad skies. It was raining, it was very windy, and then we had some issues with the roof for a little while, but like we're working on them, getting them ready, and then at that point, for those that don't know, is you can just come to Clear Skies Network, and then at that point we kind of take requests of like, what do you guys want to see? And if it's in the sky, we'll slew over to it, and then we'll take an exposure, and we'll see it all live together. And you see your favorite galaxies and nebulas. It's pretty cool.
Is it? And that's, by the way, if you have ever wondered, at the beginning of the show it says with Ron Comet. You're like, that's not the guy's name. Why is he called Ron Comet? The reason why I was nicknamed Ron Comet was we were on a live stream one night where Dustin will just bring in whoever's like, you got to set up, you can come on. As long as he generally knows that you're a real person, you're really interested in this, and you are engaged in what's going on. He loves bringing in a bunch of different people. So I come in one night and I get to use the telescope for the first time and caught a comet. And so they're like, there you go, Ron. There's your picture of the comet. It might have been Neowise. I think it might have been, actually. And so then I was Ron Comet, and I'm like, actually, that's one of my I have 45 nicknames, honestly, really. Since the time I was little, everybody loved it. The last name is Sparkman. You probably got 5 in your head right now. Some that I absolutely hate, and never call me those. Don't ever call me by my last name. I hate it. But I have a ton of nicknames. Ron Comet, I love. I loved it so much, I made a T-shirt and put it on the Stardom Space store. The Spreadshop store that we have. I absolutely did. And people have bought it. Yeah, it's a comet in the background because there's an actual comet picture on Canva. So I use the comet picture and then like it's Ron Comet in the bottom of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the photo you took?
No, it's not the photo I took because it's not quite that good. But it's a photo that you can use from Canva, and whatever is on there you can make pictures of because they actually do T-shirt stuff now, right? So yeah, there's absolutely 100% a shirt that's on there now.
I believe the comet that you took was Pan-STARRS.
Was it? Yeah. I'm going to be wrong on that. It's been a busy year, so I won't lie that I don't remember exactly what it was. All I knew was that I had a new nickname from it. But I am not the only one that has been fortunate to work and collaborate with the OPT group. Mac obviously has the full-time job now. But Mary Liz, you and Ryan have a pretty cool setup. You're one of the only people that I know of that's doing something cool with the telescope that you got from OPT. And so I guess I should ask this. Is it the setup that you have? Is it Tim's setup? Is it a dual thing? How does that work? Do you both have separate ones set up? Tell us all about that, and then that will kind of lead into what we're going to talk about Starship and all the cool stuff that's going on down there.
Ooh, how exciting. Yeah, so Tim Dodd, Everyday Astronaut, is the one that set up the partnership with OPT initially. And they sent him an 8-inch, I believe it was a 10-inch scope. And then he asked for the in-flight abort, SpaceX's in-flight abort launch, which was the one where they were testing the Crew Dragon capsule, and they wanted to see how the emergency abort process might take place to test that out. And then they were going to blow up the rocket, and we desperately wanted to capture everything with the telescope. So that was why we urgently got everything in place. And then because Tim streams and he has to be really present on the camera, he asked Ryan, my partner, to manage the telescope. So we got a lot of assistance with like setting up the software. And oh my gosh, his name, his Twitter handle is escaping me right now, but I will put it up here in just a bit to give him proper credit. But our friend wrote the software that is the interface between joystick controls and the telescope. So Ryan was, during liftoff, using joysticks to make the telescope track the rocket. And then the telescope just stayed with us ever since. We always used it for Tim's live streams. And then we realized that the 10-inch was just too much because we were only like 2.5, 3 miles away from the rocket. So you'd have to decide, do I want to just like get a close-up of the flames, or do I just want a close-up of the capsule or the logo? And so we asked OPT for another telescope, and they sent us an 8-inch. And we still kind of have the same issue, but it's so much better. So now we've got 2 scopes. One is permanently at Mars Studio B at Tim's new Starship studio, but Ryan permanently runs that during the live stream. So if you tune into those and you're watching the really cool, very close up Starship telescope tracking, that's us, but it's with an OPT telescope.
It's an amazing setup. I love it. And so I was able to watch a little bit of the last one for Starship because it was in between. We were waiting for it, so I hadn't started streaming yet, and so I like to watch the other people that go much longer. So I have to do like the job at Space Foundation during the day. I can live stream, but I can't be on all day quite yet. Maybe we'll eventually get to that point. So what I try to do is I try to have them running in the background because I learned so much from the other live streams. Like if you watch, Tim Dodd and, Tori Carismo and NASA Spaceflight and all the awesome groups that are down there. And I know that you all work with S Padre, right, Mary Liz? So
yeah, a lot.
So there's a ton of people that are down there doing amazing things. And of course, Cosmic Perspective and Everyday Astronaut. If you haven't seen the videos of things going boom, those definitely happen with, what is it? Pointy side up and flamey in down. I can't remember exactly how Tim says that, but that one makes me laugh every time. Does he have that on a t-shirt yet?
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite t-shirt.
I gotta get that t-shirt. Yeah, because I know that he has a bunch of his stuff. Like he has the more technical stuff, but he also has some of his funny stuff. And I've needed to get like some Tim stuff forever, man. Like I've loved that guy for years. But
he's got good merch.
He does. He has great merch. And he was one of the first, and Tim was really impressive because he was one of the first few people that was like, here's what all the other streaming like people with a big platform are doing. And there's nobody really in space that's kind of latched onto that yet. Nobody's really doing merch. Nobody's really doing this, all the different things that come along with what most of us are just like, of course you're going to do that. That's just he set a lot of the trends that a lot of people are now doing. And a lot of people, I think some of them don't even know that he set the trends. Maybe like the first one that had the launch stuff on the side and all those amazing things that he does. But yeah, so it's been amazing to watch all this fun stuff that's been going on. So before I kind of dive into that, Janara, I want to kind of hit you up a little bit for this. What is there something to you that's as exciting as what we have going on up here? Because I mean, Mexico's doing a whole lot more now that people don't know about. That's actually one of the things that we have. Like Ana Cristina Alvera, very often she took a break for a little while because we had a lot of stuff going on, but she does space news for us in the Spanish language. And at the end, she talks about all the cool things that are going on in Mexico, possibly other parts of the world. You all are busy down there, and it's something that a lot of people don't know about how much the space industry really is there. And so is there stuff that like you're excited about that's happening down there that you're a part of? I mean, what's happening that maybe we don't know about? Because sometimes we can be a little too tunnel vision here with the stuff that's going on in the U.S. when really there's stuff going on all over that's awesome. You're muted.
There
you are.
This happens all the time. Yeah. So of course, there's a bunch of things going on out here, down in LATAM. Of course, our focus it keeps on being the U.S. to be honest, because I work with a company that operates stuff in space, 37 satellites, and we do have a bunch of services for the U.S., which keeps on being like the largest market. But I'll tell you that there are new CubeSats coming out from LATAM a lot these days. Just last week, Paraguay sent their first CubeSat to space,
Nice.
which is really nice. A couple of friends did a CubeSat 3 weeks ago, which is also very nice, from Mexico. So this is like the third CubeSat from Mexico that's launched. And so you know how democratizing the access to space is one of those things that small launchers are trying to do. Rocket Lab from New Zealand and the Vega rocket from the guys at ESA and Ariane Group. And so having CubeSats out there helps a bunch of people get into satellites, into rockets and whatnot. So there is more and more people getting involved in satellites, CubeSats. Most of them have been educational. A couple of them have been for armies and air forces around the world. So it's interesting. Um, there has been talks of doing a LATAM space agency with Mexico and Argentina stepping up on the lead, and it's
Yeah.
very interesting that you talk about it because Argentina is probably the most interesting location in LATAM for space stuff, and they.
By the way, I love the fact that you call it LATAM. I've never heard anybody use the term before. Like, I love the shorthands of things, and I was like, is he saying LATAM? Oh, Latin America. I'm a moron. So I love the fact that you use that term. You learn something new. One of the reasons I love this stream, man. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, whenever you see it. So, for example, Europe and Middle East is EMEA, and of course I'm picking up with like industry standards to collocations, but Argentina is probably the leading country in Latam for space stuff, and so back a couple of years ago, but both Brazil and Argentina were trying to have the first bigger launcher in the region, and none of them really made it past a couple of tests. I love the name of Argentina's rocket. It was Tronador, which if you guys have been going to a launch, I guess many of you. I mean, of course, Mary Liz lives next to a place where they launch each other a week. Right?
Mary Liz literally, her and Ryan literally sleep under the Starship. And like they've got some really cool views of that, and so just in case you were wondering, I love the eye roll to the side, like we maybe have slept under the Starship once and nobody knew.
but yes, so it's an interesting it's an interesting country, and they've done their own geo satellites, and they have their own rocket. They actually have the most advanced satellite aperture radar technology in the world. They're working with NASA with that, and now with Brazil. So it's very interesting what they've been doing. So there's a lot to learn. You guys probably heard of Brazil trying to host a launch center, where
Nice.
where SpaceX actually has shown some level of interest in ULA as well. So it's near the equator. It's gonna be cheaper, but sending components there, it's gonna be probably expensive. But it's interesting. We're in very interesting times in the industry where you're realizing that you really don't need to be launching everything from Cape Canaveral or from California. So now we're, people are launching stuff from New Zealand, then we're launching stuff from India. So, the latest Mexican CubeSat was launched from India, for example, in a CubeSat mission. So it's interesting. I mean, the thing of democratizing access to space, it's really cool. And when you think of satellite integrators, so you don't necessarily need to build your stuff now. You can go to someone that's building it for you, and there's a bunch of companies doing that in Europe, a bunch of companies doing that in the States. So it's interesting. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I've been talking forever. Many apologies, but
I was gonna play the video from Dave Chappelle where it's like, wrap that up. The video. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I'm afraid I'm going to get popped for it because Dave said everybody has to pay him, and I just want to show that GIF. Just being silly for people that are comfortable enough. And I've even thought about, like, I would play it for myself too. Be like, man, I've been going on forever, and then hitting the button and then playing it. It's like, did you just do that to yourself? Yes, I did. So you got 15 seconds. Wrap it up.
I ran forever. Thank you, guys. I don't know.
Come on, Tuesday. Try the veal. So, Mary Liz, you were obviously very close to the border down there. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going on. So the pictures that we had on Stardom, the very first pictures that we had that Sarah Silva took, she actually had gotten to a point that she thought that she may have walked over into Mexico to take the picture that she took, because we have the very first picture of it was Starship Hopper, and it's the sun setting, and the sun is like right on the tip of the Starship Hopper. It was one of the coolest pictures ever, and she drove all the way down from Houston for that. But obviously, there's a lot that's happening in the area. I mean, listen to the names of the people that are doing things: S Padre, Lab Padre, South Padre, Boca Chica. There's obviously a kind of connection to that there. So let's talk a little bit about just the community of people that are down there, and then I want to dive into a little bit of what you've been up to since you been filming that and recording and doing all the cool stuff.
Yeah, wow, I love the people here. It's so cool. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but on our Cosmic Perspective YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cosmic Perspective, there is an SN8 mini film that we made, and we feature Gene and Rachel from S Padre, who are the most amazing humans in the universe. And in that, you'll see that we kind of talk about what it was like for them, for SpaceX to just descend upon their community. So they, for the last 30 years, have been running their own surf business, and they had never thought about rockets. And that's the case for, I would say, for Mary, Boca Chica gal. I would say it's the same for Lewis from Lab Padre. And, you know, just they started to build. And then, of course, these passionate people just started to draw close and say, oh my gosh, what are they doing? And they turned their cameras on, and they just became these 24-hour documentarians of one of the most exciting times, I would say, in rocket history, perhaps in human history, as far as I'm concerned. So it's really cool to get to know the people here, and I'm getting to know more and more of the community, more people that are revealing the stories of how SpaceX chose this place. They were actually pitched to. So the community lured them here, which is a story I didn't know until I came here. It's a very, very special place. Something that I always try to say is the reason there's so much excitement over Starship right now is that it's all happening so fast. And this is the first time that we've ever seen a rocket company develop something out in the open. So, there are no walls around it. It's not being done in a facility where it's all closed door. It's basically like a farm and it's on a public road. And so we're all able to go out there and every day see what's going on. One more thing I'll say about S Padre.
Sure.
They're so magical.
Please do.
Took me out. They took me out on their horses. So they own 5 horses and a donkey. And sometimes they'll bring their horses to that public beach right beside Starship. So I got to, when I first came here, ride horses on the beach, on the ocean, at the border of Mexico and Texas. And Starship is right there. It was one of the most magical experiences of my entire life.
Okay, so I know that Mac's watching, Mac Malkawi, and he and I had a 4-hour conversation earlier about some stuff that's going on. So Mac is actually, we're working on some stuff now. We're going to be coming down to see one of the future SN launches, right? And Mac's going to be the one that's setting it up. And I sent you some stuff a little bit earlier, Mary Liz, about that. Some stuff we'll talk about later. But there's just so many amazing things that are happening down there. But one of the things he wants to do is I think he said that. Well, Max, sorry if this was supposed to be a secret. I have no idea. But he's like, I want to go down there and I want to do some SciComm stuff, but I want to do some SciComm stuff. And we're going to do it while we're on the horses with Starship in the background. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, I love that idea. Like, I totally want to be a part of that. I am terrified of getting on a horse. I had an elephant almost throw me off its back a few years ago when I was in Nepal. I'm terrified of getting on an animal, but I'll do it anyway. So yeah, I mean, some amazing stuff, some amazing ideas that are out there. The Starship live streams, all the stuff that's going on is truly, truly incredible. There's so much that's happening down there. And so there's a lot of people that are kind of jumping into a lot of different areas now. A lot of people are in astronomy. A lot of people are into live streaming, things that they haven't done. And we have somebody that's on the show that does something that I don't think I know anybody else that does that. And that's Mac with what he does with his stuff. So Mac, I don't know if you want to share your screen and show some stuff from your Instagram, or I can, because if there's something in particular that you would like to share, I'm totally fine with that. I've got some favorites, but I don't I don't think I'd even heard of what you're famous for on Instagram until I saw you do it. So if you want to explain to everybody a little bit of one of the things that you do, astrophotography and capturing ISS and everything else, but it's the light photography, man. It's just the coolest thing ever. And I still don't have any idea how you do it. And it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, sure. Well, as far as bringing up images, I want to see which ones you like. So I'll let you do that.
Done.
But to let everyone know, so I also do light painting, which is painting with light. So it's a long exposure, and I've got different flashlights with different things on top, little plexiglass things that illuminate, or I'll take different fabrics and put it over something, and yeah, it's just different to create different textures. And I basically take a long exposure, and while the exposure is going, I start painting things and start creating kind of this this fantasy world of, you know, light people or drawing things, or there's one as well. And so I kind of took that and I married it along with astrophotography. And yeah, so that picture was done in Joshua Tree, and it was a really fun one to do. The little red thing going between the center is just like it's a lightsaber that I literally just ran down that little thing and I just started waving it around. That's the best. That's the best hashtag ever. The light person, it's like I have a small little finger light LED, and all I do is I just trace myself. So I go back and forth, and just trace my arms, trace my legs. Yeah, there's so many Star Wars things. I addicted to Star Wars for sure.
I have to scroll to get to the next one, so feel free to just keep talking while I grab the next one.
Yeah, and there's so many different tools, and honestly, light painting is limited to what your imagination is. So if you can think of it, you can draw it. As long as you can figure out how it's done, it's such a beautiful kind of artwork. And actually, that's actually how I got into photography in general. Super quick story. I went to a concert. There was a guy, and he was yeah, I had never met him before, never knew about him or anything, and we were just waiting for the band to start. We start talking, and he introduces himself as a light painter. I was like, what the hell is a light painter? Like, it sounds ridiculous. Like, I mean, I knew the guys that do sparklers and just draw a heart and whatnot, and so that was a fun one to do out of Borrego Springs. And so he introduced himself as a light
is
painter.
like, holy hell. That was great. Sorry, like I'm watching the reactions to people that have never seen I don't think anybody on here had seen your work before. So I can still see everybody, and I see like the jaws drop and like everybody being like, holy crap, what is that? That is amazing. And it was awesome to see. You can't see it, Mac, but I saw the reactions.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And so anyways, I ended up following him when I got at home, and I saw his work, and his work is just incredible. I was blown away, and I was like, what? You can do this when it comes to light? It's amazing. And so I started with light painting, and it was like a few weeks later, I saw a photographer online by the name of Mark G. He works as one of the main guys over at Weta Digital, making some really cool stuff for some awesome movies. And he did Milky Way photography, and I was like, wait, you can do that with a DSLR. And so I went out to Vasquez Rocks that night, a place out here in Los Angeles, and I tried to shoot the Milky Way, and I came up with nothing, because little did I know that Milky Way season had a season, and it's not year-round. So I waited another 6 months, got a picture of the Milky Way, and that was it. And then I just kind of started marrying the two together, light painting and astrophotography, and that in itself is such a wonderful challenge. Like, being able to blend exposures and trying to figure out like, okay, so I have to expose for the Milky Way, which is about a 30-second exposure at this, ISO and aperture. So which means to not blow out the image with my lights, I have to have a super dim light to be able to do that. But how do I have a really dim light with this flashlight that has one thing? Well, you put a black t-shirt over it and just dim it a little bit. And it was just a great challenge to try and think about what would look cool, from my imagination in my head and how to make it possible. And I never wanted photography to be something normal, like just kind of point and shoot, or like I wanted to take the camera and do something so different with it, something that people didn't think about, or like something that makes people go kind of like how you were, like, how do you do that? And and then I want to teach it. I want to let people know how to do it, and so that they can do it for themselves, and inspire other people, and just kind of let the positivity spread.
Dude, I absolutely love that. So we have somebody being whiny and complaining. They're like, I like reality, blah, 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 blah. So since somebody had to be a little, I don't even know what the term is now that you can say, but you know what you're being. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to show some of the reality that Mac has shot with some of the cool images that he has that are astrophotography things. So I want to bring this back into the stream and make this person happy and show some of the cool stuff that Mac does that is, in fact, reality. Look, hey, reality. Look, it's gorgeous. And then there's some other stuff that we have up here. One of the things I showed a little bit earlier, and we didn't, clarify what it was. There's an amazing shot, like that's gorgeous.
Keep in mind too, like those light paintings.
Yep.
Like they actually are reality. Like there's
no
to let him know and make him feel bad. There's no Photoshop to them. Like it's done in camera. It's just art, and it's like painting.
And that's what I said too. I was like, that's his art. He does, other stuff. Like that is probably a composition, right?
That's a composition.
And you'll also say it if you go to his stuff. Like he's very open about that. But like that's awesome. Yes, it might be a composition, but it's all the pictures of that racing across. And I love your sun stuff, dude. Your sun stuff is crazy.
That was such a fun shoot of. That was the very first time I shot the International Space Station crossing the sun, and it was one of those, like, if you were so to shoot the sun with the International Space Station crossing it, you have to line yourself up. You have to figure out exactly where the International Space Station is going to cross the sun, and if you are off from that location, that imagine. If the space station created a shadow on Earth, you would have to be in that shadow to get the shot. And so if you are outside of the shadow, which is only like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile, maybe less than that. Maybe it's 1/6 of a mile. In any direction, you miss it. The space station is on the side, and you just can't get it. So it's like, you're waiting there. You're trying to figure out, did I get it in the right spot? I'm all lined up. I'm focused on the sun, and you're ready and you're shooting. And then finally, you see it just zoom by. And for those that don't know, the time that it takes for the International Space Station to cross the sun is about 0.4 of a second. So it's super fast.
Dude, the stuff that you capture is crazy. So speaking of how fast something races across the sky, if I remember, it was your photography challenge, and you talk about this too, what it took to be able to actually take this picture. I love that last year, a big challenge for a lot of people was to try and snag the International Space Station. I don't think I'd ever seen a picture of it. So all the people that are doing that, Shane, I saw that, you better stop, or I'm going to put you. Oh, that's right. I'm going to put you on the screen like that. That's right. I saw you. But people decided to do this one. You know what I can't wait for? It's possible that somebody can capture Hubble. They just have to have, the camera in the right area to be able to do it. It's in orbit in a way that, wait, what? Mary Liz has got her hand up. What do you guys, what?
I didn't do it. I'm just saying that the Inspiration 4 crew sounds like they might try to do a Hubble flyby.
That'd be cool.
Shut up!
Not kidding.
How would you even, what? No, what? That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I would lose my mind on that one. So,
That would be so cool. I would be so down to see that. By the way, speaking of which, that International Space Station shot that you had,
Yep.
See the little snub at the bottom?
Yep.
That's
Crew
Dragon?
Dragon.
That's the Crew Dragon, and that was
Nice.
like a day or two right after it docked.
Okay, so I gotta see. So I love this because Deep Sky Dude right now is actually, saying some cool stuff. He's like, you've seen passes that, how quick they are. And he's mentioning too, because I think he's actually captured some stuff. So one of the reasons that the Stardom Facebook page blew up so much is that Will has been very cool about allowing me to share all the cool stuff that he does on our platform. He did some stuff where we were live streaming, doing mooncasts. He's actually the reason that I'm getting the setups that I'm getting to do live streams of Mooncast and the planets and everything else. Will caught the dragon racing across the sky to catch up to the ISS in the best video ever. That video wasn't even mine. It went viral for him and for me. It has almost 2 million views on Stardom's Facebook, and I don't even know how many it's been on the other ones. He's created a ton of stuff since then. Since everybody started getting eyes on the things that he's doing, it's just blown up, which is super awesome to see. And so now he's got like another video that's got like 2 million views on it. I don't even remember what that was, Will. Well, you can mention it like down below in the comments. I see that you're commenting right now. But I know that you have one that's got like a crazy amount of people that have seen it. The videos that he creates are awesome, so I just love to give Will a shout out because he does the same for me on his streams, and eventually we're going to do some Mooncast stuff. But it's incredible what people are capturing, honestly. And one of the things that we want to do, so we've ran over a little bit for us to do at the top, kind of at the top of the hour of playing music. So what I want to do instead is I want to show one of the videos that Mary Liz has done. That's one of the SN ones. And at the end of the show, we'll play her musical piece that she sent to me. But it is crazy what you all are creating. So I want to stop this. And what I'll do is I'm going to throw out a quick question here. Shayna, I know that you got some stuff that's going on with the amazing program that you're doing for the Analog Astronaut plan that you have, and you're going to be raising funds for that. So tell everybody about that while I find this awesome video and how people can be involved and support you in what you're doing.
Perfect. Teamwork makes the dream work. So my team, Crew 245, going to MDRS, Mars Desert Research Station that we were talking about, is leaving on April 9th and 10th to go there. And right now, the team is working on getting our socials up. So you can follow us on, I think we have Twitter, I know we have Insta and Facebook. You can follow us across the board at Red Planet People, and we'll be posting all of our journey along the way, being able to show you what the process for creating our experiments is, being able to tell you about what it's like to be an analog astronaut. And I hope that when you visit that, you will also take a look at our fundraiser, because right now we are fundraising for all of the equipment we need. We are all students or very recent students, so anything that you can give, even the cost of a cup of coffee or an MRE on Mars, will be very appreciated.
Fantastic. We're so excited for you. I can't wait to see what you're going to do while you're there. So I have found so this is a really amazing part of the video that Mary Liz pointed out to me that I'd actually skipped over. I love this video. On a second. Wait 1 second. I want to back it up here just a little bit. Okay. So they were in the middle of giving an interview or getting an interview when something happened. So we're gonna go from that. You can see where, like, if you can see her, she's cracking up right now because this is just so good. So here's the video. I'm gonna play the audio as well. So give me 1 second here. Come on.
Just to set it up. I mean, it had just Essenton had just launched, and it was this guy's first launch in person. He was so excited that it had successfully landed, because for anyone who doesn't know, Starship landing and not exploding, difficult thing. So it had landed and not exploded, and then go on.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the video.
Things I've ever seen. So no, I
see it in the background.
Video. So this is my first time being at a rocket launch, and I knew I had to see it. And it looks like it just fell over. We were worried about that happening because it did not look like it was fully vertical, and it looks like now we have flames. and we just heard the shock and the song.
It sounds like thunder in that whenever you played in slow motion.
That's such a great shot, though.
Oh, the video is crazy, and like they will never tell you the secret, but they have the coolest place to film ever. We're not going to talk about it, but it's super awesome. It like that video makes it all worth it. It's so cool.
Look at that just falling. That's amazing.
Yeah, just wait. They go back here in just a moment.
Here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is that SpaceX had ended their webcast, so
They sure
everybody
did.
just thought, "Oh, cool, successful." Well, we keep our cameras rolling until thanks, Steve Sky Dude. We keep our cameras rolling until the batteries run out, and so having the high
Had a rocket
speed.
launch.
I love how he says, "And now we have flames." Just keep
I'm
it
just going to let
rolling.
this keep playing. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going. You're completely
yeah. I mean, yeah, we cut away from it in this video, but we're gonna release some full cuts soon here. But yeah, I mean, this camera is just sitting out there doing its thing. It's probably gonna keep rolling for, hours. And so we have the luxury of no matter when the webcast ends, but thankfully, actually, Tim Dodd, Everyday Astronauts live stream was still going too, and his reaction is hilarious if you watch that as well. But it was an epic moment.
I love that you kept going because Will is actually talking about it. I'm talking to Will, who's Deep Sky Dude, by the way. Will Young, Deep Sky Dude. I mentioned him earlier, but just in case. This is him commenting. So, Will stopped filming because he and the people around him, they all capped their cameras. They busted out because it was like 8 minutes total, right? It was like somewhere around 8 minutes in between, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're all sitting there drinking a glass of champagne, cheersing the fact that Starship had just landed. They're all just so excited and everybody's celebrating. You can hear everybody kind of in the background of yours that people are there's already a commotion. People are still stoked and they're all enjoying the experience. And then Starship go boom.
Most people had left, as you can see.
People were actually leaving. Yeah, I think Will, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you were saying that one of the reasons that you all were kind of hanging out and having champagne was because people were leaving and you didn't want to get caught in traffic. How many people do a launch and leave right after? So that's just the best thing ever to drive down there. Will drives down there from Houston in his van that he has to film all this stuff. And the moment that everybody wanted, most people found out that it blew up from Tim. Because Tim, like they edited that video and had it up. And what's great is that it's just enough off that it blows up. And Tim's still talking about how amazing the whole thing is. And then he's like, oh my God, but what you hear is the rumble and the sound because they're close enough that you could also hear it and it affected the microphones and the cameras and everything. And then Tim's like, oh my God, it blew up. It blew up. And what I love is not only his, but somebody else did one. Tori Carissimo had to leave his stream. And so he said, I'm going to turn my phone off. I'm going to go do this event that I've got to do. And then I'm going to film a reaction thing later. So he had no idea what was happening. And he does a great video and he goes through the whole thing. And he said he was nearly done editing this thing, right? He was figuring everything out. Then he happened to be on Twitter and saw that it blew up. By the way, I came this close to posting across all the social media stuff and saying, oh, hey. And then I noticed that the title that Sheets had from Sheets from CNBC, that Sheets Tweets does from CNBC, he said that it lands and then it explodes. I'm like, it exploded? When did that happen? Because nobody saw it because SpaceX turned off the stream. And then Tori did kind of the same thing, found out that it happened. And then he comes back, it says like 5 minutes later, and it pops back on. He's like, it blew up. It's like, it actually blew up. What happened? And it's the reactions from everyone. That's one of the reasons that people live stream, is that you see the people that love this thing so much. I can only imagine what your faces were like. Brian might have actually raised his voice for the first time ever when he heard it. He may have actually yelled like, oh my God, guys. And like, oh, Ryan, calm down. Like he's so just like chill Like that, I think he
Nah.
just like amazing yoga poses, and that's why he has incredible abs. He's just that chill, and it's just it just cracks me. It cracks me up just to think about missing that. I wish I had a picture of Will's face when it blew up, and the first realization that, oh my God, I didn't capture this on camera. So Will, sorry, I had to laugh about it a little bit, but you know.
Well, he'll never do it
We're
again.
really dunking on Will right now.
I dunk on Will all the time. That's completely fine. He dunks on me too. We love to pick on each other. So lovingly. It's very brotherly. Yeah, like a brother. What are you doing, Scott? But yeah, Mary Liz, go ahead.
A lot of people did the same thing for what it's worth. And a lot, like John Cross was talking about how everybody just shut down. And I think that's the lesson learned. No one will ever stop the recording immediately. I think even the SpaceX webcast might just continue going.
I mean, how can they not? I mean, that video's got a ton, but they don't have any of that at all. I don't think their cameras keep going, do they? Because there's no official video. In fact, the person that, like, the video that Elon Musk himself shared was who? And she's like, hours.
Essington is in Valhalla now. I'll never forget waking up to that.
Yep.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
So
you guys had a
cool.
great day. Oh my God, this is hysterical. Mac Macaulay said, I love Tori. He stayed on an extra 8 minutes after SLS test just in case.
See?
That's not even a thing that I don't think can even blow up anyway, right? I mean, for doing the test, but that's funny. I don't care who you are. That is great stuff. Oh my God. So,
Well, and what did he get? He got BN1 stacking, right? Well, if you were watching the NSF live stream.
well, okay, so different. Well, that's the S. Well, hold on. Let's back that up.
SLS green
hold on.
run.
Yeah, the green run. But you said what happened?
BN1 was being stacked. The super heavy booster, the first ever super heavy booster for Starship, was being stacked, and NSF NASA Spaceflight was live for the green run test. That was over. They were still streaming, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh my gosh, this just in!" And they kept the stream going because their RoboCams. Yeah, so they switched to Boca Chica and got the stacking of Starship. So it's like, wow,
fantastic. Well, and NSF
Yeah.
has just been on a run, man. Like it's so cool to see what that platform was a year ago. And just, you know, with everything we're bringing on Boca Chica Gal and everything that's kind of happened from that and how it's built, you know, the streams that go, I think there are 24-hour day streams, right? Same as like Lab Pottery, right? So there's constantly something streaming, all the cool things. So you capture everything. And because these things are being built out in the open and it's all new technology, stuff happens. There was like apparently a video from earlier today that something was on fire, I think, that was out at Boca Chica. I don't even know what's happening, but you never know when those things are going to happen. Keep the camera rolling if you're in Boca Chica, because you never know. That's the reason why they're going 24 hours a day. And
They should keep a calendar with how many days they go without a workplace fire incident.
Oh my God! You know what they need to do is they need to kind of and it's even funnier because what is the name of their engines? Is nobody going to get that joke? I'm upset with all of you right now. What's the name of the engine? It's the Raptor, and you've all seen the meme where it says we've gone 150 days without a Raptor attack. Technically, they're having Raptor attacks when they blow up. How am I got that? Oh, and I'm gonna get the like it's cheesy. That's funny. Now my feelings are hurt. I think it's thank you, Mary Liz. I think it's great.
Now everyone
So,
can see whether we're laughing or not. They don't have to take your word for it.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the T-shirts, and I'm going to have like the SN blowing up and being like, we've only went however many days it's been. We've only gone so many days without a Raptor attack, and show it blowing up because the Raptor. So there you go. If anybody's watching this stream and gets it out before I do, I'm coming for you. Oh, I want to strangle you. I've got live stream.
I said it, Ron. I said it.
Ron, I don't want to be the bringer of bad news, dude, but there's a Raptor right behind you.
What? Wait, hold on. I went the wrong way. What? Now that's even funnier. Like, it would be super funny if somebody did a render of like that Raptor as the 27 engines on Super Heavy. So Mac, now that's on you. You have to kind of mess with it and then make that, because there's a really good render of the 27 on Super Heavy that somebody put out earlier. I think again, Elon even like shared it out, and it's a really cool like look to it. But it'd be super funny if you said, you know, OPT is proud to announce that there will be 27 Raptors on the bottom of Super Heavy.
I'll just take like 27 of those, put them together, draw little velociraptors on them, and then just have fire shooting out.
That's amazing. And the thing is because it's already like it's got the general look at the bottom. If you point it up at an angle and you can see the raptor and made it look like they're massive, even though they're tiny. Mac, I just did your job for you, bro. Social media friend to social media friend, Air 5.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I should just give you're welcome to take it now. It's in good hands.
It's in good hands. Like we know that you will take care of this platform. Everything's good. Okay. Mac and I did different one. Mac Malkawi. Mac without a K. He and I are going to be coming down really soon. I can't wait to be able to go down and actually see this stuff live. Meet so many people that I've not met yet. Will had said different Will, by the way, that's in our chat on Facebook. It's like Jurassic Park all over you. As you know, this just I think it's perfect. Jurassic Park, perfect tie-in. And I mean, I know it's not his favorite book. It's Elon's favorite book is obviously I'm very upset about this, and I don't know if I've told this story before. So Elon's favorite book is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So knowing that, I decided to do something special for the live stream where I was going to interview Elon, right? Yes, 42, exactly. So I put 42 on a Stardom t-shirt and wore it under my jacket for this face-to-face interview that we were going to do. This was the day that Elon became worth $100 billion and had to fly to Germany and wasn't even on camera. We just spoke to each other. It was basically a phone call where all you could do was stare at me nervously for 30 minutes as I talked to the biggest person in space. And so he never saw the shirt.
Completely enjoyable.
Huh?
To be fair, I was in the audience of that call.
And you just see me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I had to keep in contact with like his team to make sure we didn't go over. And so somebody's like, why is he looking at his phone for? Because I don't want to ruin this, and I have nothing else I can do. Like, the whole thing has been a video conference, so somebody's got to be on video, and it's me. So it was just the funniest experience ever. I'm going to laugh about it till, probably till the day I die. But it's just like, bought the shirt, overnighted the thing. It was like $60-something, $70-something for the whole thing to get the thing in time. Didn't see it. Doesn't know it exists.
I'm sure he saw it. I'm sure he saw.
I highly doubt that he went back and watched it. I would be shocked if Elon went back and watched that. He might have. Elon, if you watch, there's no way you watch the show, but if you watch the show, let me know. Everybody can just tweet to him and be like, Elon, if you haven't seen this guy got the shirt as like kind of a shout out to you, and you should see his shirt because it made him very, very sad that you didn't see it. But I love that Max kind of giving the love here so long, and thanks for all the fish. So
I have a Don't Panic tattoo. I was trying to show it here, but it's so
nice.
Hard. I don't even know how to do it, but I guess there's a couple of fans out there of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I think it's all of us. I think everybody is. The first time I read it, I was in Nepal. I knew it and watched the movie and everything else, but I never had the chance to read it.
Huge fan. Douglas Adams is my favorite philosopher of all time, favorite comedian.
How can you not love him?
You can't not. My quick fact, my friend Hillary Coe, who was my buddy that came on the analog astronaut mission with me, was instrumental in designing Starman. So that first Falcon Heavy demo flight that shot Elon's Tesla Roadster into space and had Don't Panic all over the place and all sorts of little Hitchhiker's Guides nuggets, she was instrumental in designing that. Fun fact.
Wow.
Wasn't there a copy?
She's kind of cool. She does some awesome stuff, yeah.
Cool.
Wasn't there a copy in the glove box?
There was a copy, actually. I have it right over there on the other side of the room. There was a little tiny nanofiche disc that was a copy of the Foundation trilogy, which is Isaac Asimov's, another one of his favorites.
Which is my top sci-fi, so he still has good taste.
Nice.
I love the whole thing in Hitchhikers, and it's cool because actually it was like a week or two ago I was watching an interview with Elon, and we both share the same kind of thing where it's not the answer that's the issue, it's the question. We know the answer, but what are the questions that we have to what are the questions we have to ask to get to where our answers are? You know, it's like, do we have to go to Mars? Well, we know the answer is yes, but it's how do we get to Mars? And you know, I think, you know, what's the answer to life and everything? 42.
Yeah,
What's
it's
42
always
mean?
the question. It's always the question.
Yeah.
And there's a crazy theory behind the number 42, which isn't true, but I want to see if I can find the meme real quick, because it's good. They did a good job of kind of coming up with. Okay, I found it. In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the supercomputer Deep Thought is built by a race of hyper-intelligent alien beings to determine the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Deep Thought determines that the answer is somewhat anticlimactically 42. It sounds like a joke, but is there more to this answer? Douglas Adams was an unabashed computer nerd and knew a heck of a lot about programming, language, and coding. And in programming, an asterisk is commonly used to translate as whatever you want it to be. In CII language, the most basic computer software, 42, is the designation for an asterisk. A computer, Deep Thought, was asked what the true meaning of life was. It answered as a computer would. 42 equals anything you want it to be. Genius. Now, no one will ever know if that's true or not. Like, no one will ever know, because Douglas was gone before somebody came up with this theory. But it's a brilliant theory, and it sounds like his sense of humor and his wit. So I give whoever came up with that the credit. Jupiter says, I don't want to be this guy. I don't think that you are. But I've won more contests than I'd like to admit with the number 42. It is the answer. Answer?
It's true.
Yeah.
It is.
The
Are we
answer.
singing it? Yep, it's the answer. So what a perfect time. It's 9:42 to start talking about the last things that we do, that we wrap up to wrap up the night. But first, what I want to do is play this awesome video that Mary Liz sent me. She did incredible work, and we got a piece of it. She actually created this for one of her friends, and there's a longer version, but she gave us kind of the crux of it so we could see some of the cool stuff that she does. So while I load this up, Mary Liz, tell us a little bit about what it is that you do with your music and this technology that you use that allows you to do you and make music. Yes.
Yes, so these Mew music gloves, I wish I had them on right now so I could show you, but you'll see in a minute. They are really spectacular MIDI controllers. So I can program them to play any sound I want, to play any chord or note I want, to change any effect I want. And so you'll see me just kind of dancing around, as you can see here, triggering sounds with my music gloves. And this, by the way, I want to dedicate this to my uncle who is here. Bill Wheelahan, thank you for being here.
All right. I'm going to unmute it and play it now. Here we go. That was amazing. I'm like moving in slow motion over here, so let me see if I can. There we go. We're moving from the studio. Yeah, I was gonna say you were moving in slow motion. That's not actually the way. Mac, yes, I see that. Give me just 1 second. I'd be happy to do that. So that's not the way the video was supposed to look, but StreamYard is still trying to figure out like this whole you can upload videos, and that's a big video. And so trying to play a 1/4 gig video from jump from your computer, I don't quite have I'm not saying that it can't do it on a better machine and with better internet, and eventually we'll someday be on Everyday Astronaut level and we can build a friggin' like command center. We're going to be there, I promise. But for now, it showed it a little slow. However, Mary Liz is going to share that on her page, which I have linked down below. She'll be uploading the whole thing soon, so that way you can get the whole experience. You heard the kind of the part that she builds to, but there's what you said like 6 or 7 minutes before that to build into it. So you're going to be able to see that on her page. So Mac actually just shared something with me, and it's a short 2-minute video that he did for OPT. I want to see this because I love the stuff that Mac does. So we'll show that, and then we will go into our. That's funny. I almost showed this a little bit ago. It's humorous that you picked that up because I was just staring at you a tank top in a little bit. And yes, we can. Shayna's got a video. Everybody got a video. I've got a video, and you've got a video. We're Oprah tonight. I love it. So let's do share screen. And we're going to meet the LPT team with Mac Attack. And then.
Hey guys, I'm Mac Murdoch, an astrophotographer from Hollywood, California. So we're out here in Joshua Tree / Landers, California, brought together here by Dustin Gibson from OPT. And I think it's great that.
Why does Dustin sound like Mac?
Is putting together this family. It's getting all of us closer together and collaborating with one another and teaching each other's tricks. So I went out into Joshua Tree with a few friends once, and I brought my camera and I saw the Milky Way and pointed my camera at it, took a picture. And what showed up at the back just got me hooked, and that was it. That's where I knew this is where I should be. So my first investment was just a camera and a tripod. That was it. And immediately I got myself the Rokinon 14mm lens, went out, and 2 years later I decided, you know what, it's time to make the jump and to look into something deeper into the universe. And so I got myself this Atlas and a really small telescope on top and just put my DSLR on top, and it was super simple, basic setup, and I got a few of my favorite images. There's so many people I look up to, man. I would say if I were to just kind of point out a few, Chuck's astrophotography is definitely one that really got me started. Rogelio from Deep Sky Colors. Astrophotography has actually opened up a whole world of being able to help other people. If I'm taking an image and I post it up and people are excited and they're like, wow, this is cool, then people reach out and ask, hey, how do I do this? And that has given me the opportunity to help people and teach people and answer their questions on how for them to do it themselves. And when they end up getting an image for themselves, it's literally one of the best experiences to know that you were a part of what helped that.
Freaking awesome. I love that. Love it. All right, let's remove the thing. Let me make sure I turn it off, or else it's going to start playing other videos with Mac. More Mac videos were on the way. We're going to show Shayna's here in just a minute. So here's what I want to do. Mac, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about what we saw in the video. Then also any final things that you want to share with everyone, where people can follow you on social media, all that fun stuff.
Sure. So that was just that was us over at the observatories out in Landers. This was shot like right before COVID, and COVID started, and it has some amazing people in that video. There was, if you guys have heard of Vanilla Moon Astro or Diana, she's making a big name for herself as an amazing astrophotographer. She's in there. Cosmic Background, or Andrew McCarthy, who is blown up the internet with his amazing moon shots. He's in there as well. And it was just all of us just hanging out and shooting, and it was such an amazing time. And then as far as just a message to everybody out there, like, you know, check out my page. I am always open to you know, explaining how I do things or helping people out. It's something that I personally love to do. So if you have any questions at all, just reach out and ask me. You can find me on Instagram, which is probably where I'm at the most, at Mac Murdoch, just @ and my name, or I'm on Facebook too. So yeah, or even just reach out on the OPT page. I'm the one that answers those as well. So cool.
Wonderful stuff. Mac, thank you for being on tonight. Jannar, I'm going to go to you next.
Thank you.
Give us a breakdown, man, of all the cool stuff that you do, where people can get a hold of you, all that. I think you have a little bit of a lag. It sounds like you laughed about 3 seconds later after I made the joke. So I think we're all lagging tonight. Everything's going crazy. But Gennaro, give us a breakdown. Tell us all the cool stuff you're doing, where people can find you.
Sure.
And we'll go there.
Sure. You can find me on Twitter as @astrog. I do a lot of stuff in Spanish. It's probably going to be real boring. I usually just complain about stuff not being in time, and just generally speak how, you know, some constellations. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of fans out there that just love some projects out there. I can't say the name, but you all know what it is. So I tend to complain about business plans and some constellations that are just out there of satellites, LEO satellites. So that's what I do on Twitter, basically just complain and whatnot, and say stuff in Spanish. But I'll try to do more stuff in English. And you really can't follow my job on social media, but you'll be able to tell if you're using some satellite stuff. That was me. If it's in the movie theaters, if you're using Orbit TV, stuff like that. I've been involved in this stuff, but maybe I'm working with a couple of other projects I may not be able to talk about right now, but maybe in the future. There are fun stuff and video from space. It's gonna be fun. And I don't know. There's so many great people out in here tonight. I'm just amazed by the stuff that Marilyse and Mac are doing, and of course, just wanted to give Shayna do her best on MDRS, and yeah, closing remarks. I don't know. I take too much time, so no. Next now.
Just got the video up whenever you said next. It was going to be super funny. You did
Go
great.
for it.
I wasn't really going to cut you off. You have plenty of time. I'm totally playing, but I couldn't help it because I was like, wait. I bet he's going to say something about the fact. And it's going to be perfect timing, and it was. Thank you for setting up the joke. See, that's called a callback when you make a joke to one of your earlier jokes at the end of the set. So in case anybody didn't know, Gennaro, I'm so happy to have you on here, man. It's been cool to see all the things that you've been up to since the randomness of Space Symposium and the people you get to meet is super cool. And one of the people that I met by accident ended up becoming him and his family, ended up becoming some of my best friends. And now Patrick Harper works with us at the Space Foundation.
That's
he's
awesome.
he's one of our newest interns.
That's
We randomly ran into each other waiting for a free drink at one of the things on one of my only breaks a year when I was doing 3 volunteering jobs. I hardly got to do anything really that was a part of it because I was in it. And one of the people I met, it's crazy cool how those things can happen and how you'll see those relationships grow. Go to any event you can. I don't care if it's IAC. I don't care if it's just going out to, Shayna, you should probably come to Rocky Mountain Star Stare that Colorado Springs Astronomical Society does. They will teach you how to use that telescope in ways you didn't even know existed. So get out to as many of those things as you can, man, because they're the best. Go to OPT Telescopes. Just hang out with the crew. They make videos of people when they show up, and then all of a sudden you're famous. There's going to be a scotch that will be made that will go to Mars because of a OPT Telescopes podcast. It was randomly mentioned, and now they're probably going to do it. Arbeg's just going to make scotch for Mars because that's what we do with these crazy cool interactions with each other. So amazing stuff, G. Glad to hear it. Shayna, I'm going to go to you, and then we're going to have a little video to share at the end so that way people can check out what you all are up to.
Awesome. Yeah, if you want to follow what I'm doing as a student, as a young professional in space, you can follow me at space_Shayna on most platforms. And if you want to follow in the next few weeks my team's preparations for Mars, follow Red Planet People, also on all or almost all platforms. Thank you so much for having me tonight, Ron. This was so awesome.
Oh, it was wonderful to have you. So let's show this video right quick. We'll make it full screen, do all the things, all the stuff and things. There we go. Slow, but it's not, but it's okay. There we go.
I'm crew scientist Olivia Etlin, and I'm going to Mars. Mars Desert Research Station, that is. It's in Utah, and I'll be living in a simulated Martian environment for 2 weeks. I'm part of a team of 6 students and recent graduates. Here, let me introduce you to the team.
Hi, I'm Dylan Nixteen, and I'm crew commander.
I'm Shayna Hume, and I'm our executive officer.
That jacket,
Hi,
though.
Everyone. My name is Julio Hernandez, and I'm the crew biologist.
I'm Alex Koltrup, and I'm the health and safety officer.
And my name is Shravan Hariharan, and I'm proud to be our crew engineer.
That's the team. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly will we be doing there? Well, experiments that involve botany, human factors, emergency medicine, and more. But we're funding the mission ourselves, and that's where we could really use your help. We've linked to GoFundMe, where anything that you donate will go toward these experiments and other costs to help operate the mission. And as a token of our gratitude, we'll give you access to exclusive content and souvenirs from the mission. So please click the link and help get our GoFundMe off the ground. See you on Mars.
Awesome stuff. That's a great idea. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it that way. By the way, I love the fact that it showed the other videos. So there was that super sad song that I was listening to earlier. I was thinking about this person that I care about, and I was listening to that sad song. I'm like, oh, it's the next thing up. So we could have done that, and I could have cried again. That would have been a good time. So perfect time to wrap up. We're going to wrap up with Mary Liz because Mary Liz knows the story. So I thought that was extra funny, and I knew that she would crack up. But Mary Liz does amazing things. So Mary Liz, share with us all the incredible stuff that you and Ryan are up to, where people can reach out, check out what you're doing. Can't wait to get down there and stream with you all, up the street, and then go have food and do all the stuff and things. I'm just going to go ahead and out there and say it. We might be looking at a place down there too. Like that might be something that's in the works, so we can do some stuff. So I can't wait to come down there and hang out with you all. Mary Liz, give us the breakdown. Give us the deets.
That's going to be awesome. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this and bringing these amazing people together. I didn't know what these folks were up to, and now I feel enriched. So thank you. And yeah, right now, SpaceX is building the city of Starbase, Texas, the spaceport to Mars, right here in my backyard. And Ryan and I are documenting every single step of the way in the kind of unique ways that we do. So please follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cosmic perspective. Cosmicperspective.com will get you to all of our social media channels. We're just going to be sharing all the beauty that we can from this incredible, important, and very pivotal moment in human history. I can't stress enough how exciting it is to be here and how much we want to share it. And then, of course, I'm going to be sharing a lot more of my music. I'm going to be doing some beautiful live streams from where Starship sits in the near future. So just follow us there if you'd like to follow along and let us know what you want to see. And Ron, I can't wait. I cannot wait till you come.
Oh, it's going to be
Epic.
amazing.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
going to be so awesome. I can't wait to get down there and hang out
You're
with you guys.
gonna flip. You're gonna flip out.
Oh, I know. And that's what I actually have to have somebody else do. I'll probably end up bringing my Nikon camera that I don't use anymore. It was my mom's camera, the first thing I ever really shot with, like a real camera after she passed away. She left it to me. I'll probably use that one to film my reaction while I'm trying to catch it on a stream, just for me, just to see the faces when I'm like, oh my God, like everybody said it's so totally different than even other rocket launches that you've been around.
I've documented over 70.
Yeah.
There's nothing like this.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Different.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to go do the cool stuff and things in the area, and hang out with Austin and all the people that are down there, all the Padres and so on. So I'm excited.
Austin, yeah.
Yeah.
What a sweet pea.
Oh man, I love Austin. He was he actually shared a picture of us earlier from when he was here earlier. Wait, hold on. It wasn't this year. It was last year. It wasn't long before I did the Musk interview, and Robin Semengal had sent me a poster of. I love this because I love the way that they set the poster up. It's Starship plus accessories, and Robin had asked the question of Elon Musk. It's like, are we going to? Oh, Austin's watching. Perfect timing, Austin. I love that. I didn't realize he was watching, and so on this amazing poster that his team created. There's that, and then there's the accessories. One of them is Cybertruck, and Robin had asked Elon, is the Cybertruck going to work on Mars? And it's kind of a fun question, and he giggles about it a little bit, and he's like, no, there's going to be a Mars-rated version of Cybertruck we're talking about. It's one of the reasons it's kind of built the way that it's built. And so, of course, it's added there, and there's a few other things that are. So if you check out supercluster.com, you can see all the cool things that they have. I've worn one of their T-shirts before during live streams, so go check out all the cool stuff that they're up to. Austin, I can't remember all the different pages that you have right now, or I would give you a shout-out, but don't think I'm not going to come down there and we're not going to do a live stream. Honestly, if we can figure out a way to do it, I would love to do a Space Fam in that parking lot in front of with Starship behind us and have like 4 people from the area. So Austin, you're gonna be forced to be on the show if we end up doing that. Everybody has been wonderful tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're not following all the pages at Stardom Space everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, you can find us just anywhere that stuff and things are being done. Thank you so much to the incredible guests we have on tonight. We have a great one next week. And then 2 weeks from now, we're working on something that may be all the people that have done the amazing patches that have gone to space before. Some of them, well, at least one of them has had at least a couple patches go to space. They were featured on Emily Calandrelli's TV show Exploration Station. So look out for that. We've got some amazing shows coming up. Can't wait to see you all then. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
It was
Thanks,
a pleasure,
Ron.
everyone.